As a photographer and as a working photographer, I feel like I've gone through many bags in the last 7 or 8 years. So today I thought it would be a good opportunity for me to talk about what's in my camera bag and the camera bag that I'm carrying everything in. So the camera bag I've been using is this Wotancraft Pilot 7-liter bag. And full disclaimer right off the top, they did send me this bag, but I've been eyeing this bag for a very long time. A couple of my friends have this bag and I've been putting it in my cart, getting it out of my cart for it seems like years now. So I was really surprised and really thankful that Wotancraft agreed to send this bag out to me. So I've been using it for the last month or so. And you know, if you're familiar with my channel, I always talk about different camera bags and why I like them. And while I'm not obligated to make a video, I always like to make what's in my camera bag videos at least once a year, especially because I love watching these type of videos. So if you're familiar with my channel or if you follow me on social media, you know that I'm doing a challenge to myself where I only shoot film for the entire month of January. So the setup is a little different for this month and a lot of the stuff changes, but I've been really enjoying a different type of format and a different way to look at photography for the last month. So this is basically how I've been packing this bag and everything that kind of fit with me whenever I'm going out to shoot. So I want to start by talking about the bag itself for a little bit. It's a 7-liter bag, which is a tiny bit bigger than the last bag I was using as a daily carry, which is the Clever Supply Co. Sling, which is a 6-liter bag. And you know, it worked great. I still have it. I still enjoy using it. I used it for all of my entire wedding season last year. The main thing I really like about this bag is how many compartments and how many pockets and how modular it is. And that's something that I feel like the Clever Supply is really great at, but it's a little bit more rigid, which I really like. I think it's a solid construction, but I just really love customizing this bag and just making it bag my own, especially because my setup changes for every time I go out, depending on what I'm doing. So familiar with my channel, I primarily shoot digital, so this whole setup is a little bit new for me. Some of the stuff is mine, some of the stuff is borrowed, but this is basically what I've been using. And to get straight up to the camera bag, it has, like most camera bags, it has these little dividers that are very modular. And what I like about this bag specifically, it's a pretty deep bag. So like even if you're jam packing it with stuff, you can like make it even bigger. So how I've been packing this bag is not necessarily how jam packed I would usually carry it, but since I am in the process of doing this challenge, I am carrying a little bit more stuff than I normally would. So yeah, there's 3 cameras in here, a couple of my essentials. So I have a 35mm camera, another camera that I recently purchased, and then my point and shoot camera. So I'll just go over it one by one. So starting off with this camera, it's not really a camera that I own. I borrowed this camera from a buddy of mine because I wanted to shoot on a Leica M body for an engagement shoot I was doing. I was actually just shooting pictures for my sister, and I really wanted to kind of transition into doing a little bit more film into my wedding work. So I've been trying out different camera bodies this month and seeing what kind of sticks. So I was really thankful and really lucky that my friend Francisco was able to lend me this camera. He currently has my Leica Q2, which, you know, technically usually lives here. So this is very similar in size, but right now I've been using the Leica MA, which it's a very brand new experience for me. I actually used his M10 last summer to try out a digital Leica. So I've been lucky enough that he's been gracious enough to lend me this stuff. So it's a totally different experience than what I'm used to. But since I do have a little bit of experience manually focusing with a rangefinder now, I didn't find it super difficult to focus with this. I did find it more difficult to like do the exposure triangle because I come from the digital world. So it's not a skill that I'm like super familiar with. So I've been carrying out a light meter with me as well. So yeah, like if you're familiar with this camera, there's like no internal light meter. There's no battery in this. I'm almost done with this roll of film. So I've been really enjoying the process of taking photos without actually looking at a preview, which is my own fault because I can't help myself with digital to just immediately want to look at my photos. So I've really been enjoying using this camera, and I can't wait to show the photos from this camera because I only shot one roll and I still have like 5 or so more photos left in this roll. The camera I actually did pick up earlier this month is the Pentax 17. And I've been eyeing this camera for a while, ever since it was announced, but I never pulled the trigger. I was able to buy this at the start of this year, basically by purging the rest of my film camera collection, which is cameras that I've accumulated over the years that I never really used. And so I sold all of the stuff that I had in my drawers that were just collecting dust, and I picked this one up just mainly because I wanted to try a different experience. And I'm really glad I did. I actually already shot a bunch of rolls to this, and I'm a really big fan of it. I did a black and white roll and a color roll, so I'm actually working on a video just focusing on the experience of shooting film for the month. So I'll still show a couple pictures here, but I do have a full-length video that will kind of focus on the experience of shooting film. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe for that video when it drops. I love the fact that it's a brand new camera in 2024 when it was released, and as a result of it, like the viewfinder in this is really bright, it's clean. So it's reassuring to me to have a camera that is filmed that is brand new, just because it does have a warranty. And I'm a really big fan of the design, to be honest. Part of me wishes that it had autofocus because of how expensive this camera actually is. I know if I bought it brand new without all those trade-ins and that credit that I got with the cameras I sold, I think it'll be a tougher pill to swallow, but I was able to offset the cost by selling a bunch of other stuff in the same realms. So I'm a huge fan of the design as it is. Like I think it feels great in the hand. It's super easy to use. I'm pretty familiar with zone focusing because I do zone focus with like my Leica Q2 whenever I'm doing weddings, and if I want to just try to forget about the autofocus, I do use zone focusing on that quite a bit. I did have the Ricoh GR3. I've had some practice with zone focusing there. So it's not ideal, but I really love the experience I've had with this camera. If you're familiar with this, is a half frame camera. So a roll of 35mm film, it's gonna give me 72 frames. So a roll takes me a lot longer to get through, and taking pictures of my kid, especially with zone focusing, it's a little less daunting. And if I set it to automatic, it predetermines a focusing zone, which is a pretty wide zone, and so I always get sharp results. I only have a handful of shots that were out of focus, and it's mainly user error. So yeah, I've been really enjoying this camera, and I actually just put a new camera strap on this from Clever Supply, which I'm still a huge fan of. They just released this. It's a bolo style camera strap, which I've really been enjoying. And you know, it has this little clip so you can take it off your camera, and if you just want to use it like this. I just got it like 2 or 3 days ago, so it's a pretty new addition to the kit, but I really love this camera and the experience I've had with this, and the transition of using just digital and just kind of adding some film elements to my kit have really been rewarding. The last camera I've been using in my kit for the month of January is this Canon SureShot 105 Zoom. And I actually got this camera for Christmas for my wife. And I had told her I was looking for a film camera that was just more of like a point and shoot, because I was looking to get it more into shooting film in 2025. So she got me this camera for Christmas. I believe she got it from Amazon, and it's been great. I already went through 2 rolls on this camera. The autofocus is really snappy. You know, it's a pretty good zoom. It's a 38-105, which is pretty good for most occasions. I took it to the zoo with my family, and it did great. So like, for me, it's been great to be able to transition from digital to having a hybrid digital film experience, especially because that's basically what I'm going for into 2025 at the start of February. So I still plan on doing a lot more, shooting a lot more film, but it's being more of like a hybrid experience and not so much like jam packing everything into one bag. But you know, the viewfinder in this is actually pretty great. You know, with these older cameras, they tend to be a little bit more foggy, but the zoom in this is pretty intense. So for me, it's been a great experience because it does still have a flash on it. So a lot of the stuff that I carry is not because I'm a photographer or a working photographer, it's also because I'm a dad. So I want to capture as many moments with my kid as possible. And one of the things that I picked up last year was these Ray-Ban Metas. And I actually picked them up when I went to Hawaii and ended up returning them. But I picked them up again, just mainly because my kid is, he just turned 3, and it's getting harder for me to take photos of him. He's not a big fan of cameras, which is, you know, it's something I have to come to terms with. But I have to find ways to be able to capture those moments because I tend to like want to take photos of him candidly anyway. So the more he can stay in the moment, it doesn't matter what camera I'm using. So I've been using the Ray-Ban Metas to get behind the scenes and shoots for weddings and anything that I'm doing, but also just because I want to take more videos of my kid. And these have been great, especially because now you can record with them for up to 3 minutes. So it's been great to be able to go to Disneyland with my kid, being able to get video of them whenever we're out doing stuff. So I'm a big fan of these sunglasses, and you know, they look just like regular sunglasses, so which is a big plus. And here's also my wallet. It's one of these bigger wallets, mainly because I do tend to lose my wallet quite a bit around the house. And if it's this big, it never leaves my camera bag. So it's always in here, and you know, I have plenty of room for everything else. So as it is right now, it's not a huge bag, but it carries a lot of stuff in it. And that was just like the main compartment. So like, you know, these dividers, they're super modular, just like most camera bags. But what I really like about this bag is the fact that the inside of the bag is not black. That's my main concern with a lot of camera bags, because once you put everything in there, especially if all your camera gear is also black, it's really hard to find things. So having it be a different color, it's a lot easier to find things in the bag. This bag also has 2 stretchy pockets on the sides, and usually I don't put like a water bottle or anything in there because I am usually carrying a bunch of stuff. So the only thing I ever use these pockets for is like smaller things. So like for instance, if you are familiar with the channel, I really like the Osmo Pocket 3. I carry this thing around everywhere, even if I'm not sure if I'm gonna film. It's so lightweight and it fits everywhere, so I usually put them in the pocket right here. And on this side, I usually put the little tripod mount on it. So like this whole setup is able to live outside of my bag. And so if I ever want to get a shot of something, if I'm out with my kid, or if I want to shoot a YouTube video, is right here for me, especially because it is attached with this microphone. And so like this whole setup is super small. So like as it is, I still have those like fun cameras that I want to shoot around with, but also if I want to make something more like a YouTube video or something, I always have this around with me. Going around to the front of this bag is also a zipper, which I carry a bunch of stuff in here too. Like I'm always surprised how much stuff I can actually fit in these little pockets everywhere. So like right now, since I am shooting a bunch of film, and a lot of the cameras that I'm shooting with they have an internal light meter that I don't trust because they're older cameras, or like the Leica MA, they don't really have an internal light meter. I've been using this Sekonic L308SU, and like I said, I'm super new to films, so I've been learning a lot about using external light meters and kind of going to basics. So it's been really nice to be able to like learn a new skill, just because I rely so heavily on like my digital camera. So this is something I've been carrying around, and has been super useful. Another thing I've been carrying around, just mainly because I do like things that look cool, I picked up this Kodak film case. Like it's made out of metal, so like the film is protected. I don't carry a bunch of film with me. I did when I was shooting the engagement session for my sister. So like right now I only have 1 roll in here, and I've been shooting with a bunch of different film stocks, mainly because I'm trying to nail down what works for me. So far I've really been loving Kodak Ultra Max, and I think I have 200 in here, yeah. So this is Kodak Gold 200, which I haven't developed yet. I've been shooting a couple of rolls of this. So like it's been really fun to be able to try out different film stocks. I shot a bunch of black and white rolls. So this has been really useful, especially because like I just stick this in my bag and I don't really worry about it. And it lives right here in the front, in this front pocket. I also always carry a battery bank. This one is from, I don't know, from Anchor. I got this a couple years ago. My wife and I both have iPhones, so I always carry this. So either I have something to charge, or if she needs a charger. This one's super useful because it is MagSafe. It has a little kickstand. I don't really use the kickstand for anything, but you know, if I'm ever like out and about and I want a little handle, that's what I use it for. But super useful. I'm able to charge my phone like 1.5 times, something like that. I don't know. I don't really keep up with these things, but it's been super useful. I use this at weddings. So as a professional, it's really useful, but as someone who's also a dad, you know, it has a couple of USB ports, USB-C, which is important because a lot of stuff now is USB-C. So yeah, this is super useful, and it's something that basically just lives here, and I just take it out when it needs a recharge. This bag has been super useful, and what I like about this bag is how modular it is. And this is basically how I use it, but when they did send it out to me, they sent it out with a bunch of different things you can use. It has these little clips in the back of the bag, which you can use to attach it to the actual bag if you are want to carry extra things. Like if your bag is super full, you can put more stuff in here. You know, they have a couple of different sizes. This one goes at the top of it. Like, I haven't been using these much, just mainly because I can fit so much in the actual bag itself. But I just love how modular the actual bag is. So like having that as an option, I haven't really used it for weddings yet because we are in the off season. So I'm super interested in using this for an actual job because I am a working photographer and a videographer. So having a bunch of pockets for me to stick things in, I think it's gonna be really, really useful. And having like some external storage and being able to access even things that I need to access very quickly, I think it'll be really useful. But again, I haven't really used it, but they did send them out to me, so I wanted to kind of briefly talk about it. And like the bag is super modular. It also has like this divider for like a tablet. I almost forgot, it has a pocket. It has a zipper in the back, which you can use to store. It's big enough for an iPad mini. I usually just stick my phone in here, but I do carry the iPad mini with me sometimes if I'm out with my kid, and if I really want to have a tablet around, I put it in the back. But it also, and that's something that I always forget that is here, and I think it's useful if you're looking for this bag, is like there's also a zipper like right here in the inside of this like middle part, which also fits an iPad mini. So I either stick the iPad mini in the back or in the front, and I can actually show you right now. This is like my iPad mini, and it can fit right in there. So if I want to access it really, really quickly, you can just take it out and use it. But inside of this like little inside pocket is also a zipper. So if you want to stick your wallet in there, if you have like a thinner wallet than I do, a passport, change, money, like it's a pocket that's really, it's hidden. And something to note, like there's a zipper on both sides. So like make sure that you unzip it or you re-zip the zipper because it does pass through. So like there's a zipper on each side, so all your stuff is accessible from both angles. So this is a camera bag I've really been enjoying using. I think it's been my daily camera bag for the month of January. I did customize it a little bit with some of the pins. The Coffee Drop is a coffee shop in San Diego I really, really like. And you know, I'm a big Disney fan, so like a Mickey pin here in the front. So apart from that, that's basically everything I carried for the month of January. Obviously, it's gonna change a lot during the year because I am gonna move more into like a hybrid system for my jobs and to also my daily carry. I don't usually carry this many cameras around, but I wanted to show kind of like what the month has been for me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching this week's video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a like. It goes a long way to get my videos out to more people. If you're not subscribed yet, please subscribe for more videos like this. Or if you're interested in my 1 month of only film photography video that should be released in the next couple weeks, please subscribe for more videos like this. And yeah, I'll see you next time.